Brazil have spent 24 years searching for a sixth World Cup, and everything they need to end that wait may already be in this squad. Think about that for a second. The most successful nation in football history arrives in North America with 5 World Cups, a manager who has won everything the club game has to offer, a squad packed with league champions, Champions League finalists, and some of the most dangerous attackers on the planet. But Brazil fans have heard this story before.
The best footballing nation in the history of the sport.
Samba, Brazil.
Let's go with the Brazilians.
The 2006 squad had Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká, and Adriano. The 2022 squad looked deep enough to win the entire tournament. None of them lifted the trophy because talent has never been Brazil's problem. And now Carlo Ancelotti faces the decisions that could define Brazil's next decade. Can he find the right balance? Can he build a team strong enough to survive the moments that have broken every Brazilian World Cup dream since 2002? This is what Brazil must do to win the 2026 World Cup. Solve the striker problem. Vinicius breaks games open from the left. Rafinha gives directness and pressing from the right. Martinelli brings speed when games open up. But none of those profiles solve Brazil's center-forward question, which is why Endrick matters more than people are acknowledging. Against Egypt, he came on at halftime, and within minutes, the picture changed. Rafinha cut the ball back. Endrick finished first time into the far corner. Sharp movement, clean body shape, no extra touch, no hesitation. That's a striker's goal. The kind Brazil have needed in tight games. World Cups reward players who are dangerous now. Not biggest reputation, not longest history. Form, rhythm, and clarity arriving at the same time. Endrick has all 3 right now. Use Neymar correctly. Neymar cannot be treated like an ordinary squad player. His vision is still different. He sees passes before most players register the space. Brazil don't have another player with that specific creative authority, but they cannot build an entire World Cup around him either. He's 34. The preparation hasn't been clean. The smartest version of Brazil is one where Neymar becomes a weapon rather than a dependency. After 60 minutes, World Cup matches change, midfield stretch, space appears between the lines. That's exactly when Neymar can still hurt teams badly. Think about what Croatia did with Modric in his later international years. They didn't ask him to play like a 25-year-old. They protected his influence and deployed him where his intelligence mattered most. Brazil can apply the same logic with Neymar. Preserve the genius, reduce the physical demand, deploy him when he can be decisive. The real danger is emotional selection. The shirt carries history. Neymar carries the memory of a generation. But this tournament cannot become a tribute tour dressed up as a World Cup campaign. Sentiment and function have to stay in separate conversations. Control the game through midfield. Brazil's World Cup won't be decided by how many attackers they have. It'll be decided by whether they can control the spaces that feed those attackers. Which is why Bruno Guimaraes might be the most important player in the entire squad. Not the most famous, not the most spectacular, the most important. Bruno is the connection point. When the center backs have the ball, he gives them an angle. When Brazil lose possession, he's the first to counter press. When Vinicius or Rafinha are isolated wide, he switches play quickly enough to create chances before the defensive block shifts. This is exactly what Brazil have lacked in recent World Cups. Not talent, control. In 2018, Belgium hurt them in transition. In 2022, Croatia dragged them into extra time and punished them when the midfield structure opened. Those weren't defeats caused by a lack of attackers. They were defeats caused by moments where Brazil stopped managing the game. Bruno gives Brazil rhythm. Casemiro gives them protection. Together, they give Ancelotti the balance that allows the attackers to play with freedom without turning the match into an open street fight. Brazil's forwards can win moments. The midfield will decide whether Brazil can win the tournament. Remember what actually made them champions? Brazil's own history makes the argument better than anything else. The 1970 team is remembered for the beautiful game. Pelé, Jairzinho, Rivellino, football that still defines the country's mythology. But that team also had collective structure and timing. They didn't win only because they had genius. They won because the genius existed inside a functioning team. 1994 was even clearer. Brazil ended a 24-year drought not with fantasy football, but with discipline and defensive compactness. Romario and Bebeto provided the edge. Dunga and Mauro Silva provided the control. Then 2002. Everyone remembers Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. But Gilberto Silva's screening gave those players the platform to be extraordinary. Brazil never won the World Cup simply because they had the best attackers. They won because they had the best balance. And balance isn't boring. Balance is what allows talent to breathe properly. Every champion has to survive something: an injury, a bad half, a penalty shootout, a night where the football simply won't come. Brazil's question isn't whether they have enough talent. They absolutely do. The real question is whether they can defend the moments that actually decide tournaments. Because when the knockout rounds arrive, Brazil won't be judged by how beautiful they looked for 70 minutes. They'll be judged by what happens in the 1 minute when everything goes wrong. Can the midfield close the space? Can the defense hold the line? Can Ancelotti make the hard call before the damage becomes irreversible? That's what champions do. They don't avoid the difficult moments. They're built for them.